And we're
All right, how are
live.
you?
Welcome to another edition of the Industry Insider Podcast, your promotional products podcast, where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and I'm joined today by three other lovely guests. But before we get to them, just want to mention our sponsor for today's show. We're brought to you today by PromoShow.com. What's that? You haven't heard of Promo Show? Are you serious? Come on now. Promo Show is hosting its fourth themed trade show, which will be held on September 29th. Mark your calendars, from 11 to 3 Eastern time. It's that time of the year where you want to say thank you for sticking with us through all this. God, 2020 is a year to be saying that. And the theme for this show is obviously it's that time of the year, so holidays. So holiday gifts. Promo Show is a great way for distributors to meet face-to-face, camera to camera, with suppliers to talk about current projects and get ideas on how to sell in the current climate. So distributors, if you're interested in attending that show, please be sure to go to promoshow.com and click the holiday show banner to register. And suppliers, if you're interested in getting a booth for that show, contact sales@promocorner.com. If you're interested, and check out promoshow.com, the entire industry virtually. I'm joined today by Meg Erber, Big Meg, our favorite Meg Erber. What up?
Big Meg. That's what my kids call me in front of their friends. I think they're cool. They're like, "What's up, Big Meg?" And I'm like,
do they
"I'll let
do
you
they
say it though."
know how badly you would wreck them?
They think no. They think I'm just like old and not cool and mean. I'll show them.
Man, they've got some things to learn. All right.
They
Also
do.
joined by
They
Stephen
do.
McFadden from Perfect Promotions and More. How are you, Stephen?
Doing well. How are you?
Hanging in. It is a lovely day. We're also joined by Jason Lukash, the big dog over at Origatio, now with Hub Pen, and just excited to sort of talk about all of those, everything that's happening with Hub Pen. Obviously, there's been a pretty large acquisition in the recent days/week or so. And Jason, obviously, you've got some history with through Origatio, with Shark Tank, and all that good stuff as well. So why don't you just give us a quick rundown for anybody that's listening that doesn't know who you are, or sort of your history and how you sort of got into promo? Anything fun that you can tell us to give us a little bit of background on yourself would be awesome.
I thought you guys said we were having Zuckerberg on.
I'm his heavier,
close enough.
poor brother. Live close to him, though. So my name is Jason Lukash. Calling you or zooming from San Francisco Bay Area. I started a company called Origatio in 2009, so 11 years ago, which seems like forever ago. I bought from the promo industry for another 5 years before that, for VF Corp, for North Face and JanSport out here in the Bay Area. So I was kind of always around promo. I wanted to start the promo industry, or I want to start the promo industry. I wanted to jump into the promo industry in 2009 just to disrupt the hell out of it, because the industry pissed me off. It still pisses me off because it's ass backwards and old school. It's adapted and changed in the last couple of years, big time. But when my partner Mike and I jumped into the industry in 2009, we said, everyone's doing it this way. Let's do everything the opposite way and just see what happens. So we did that. Got some pretty legit accolades across the way to get there. Time Magazine's 50 Best Inventions of the Year. We're on Shark Tank and 11 Entrepreneur Magazine's Entrepreneur of the Year at some point, 2013, 2014. And then we changed the way the promo industry went to market by creating products that were no minimum, no setup, digitally printed in 3 days or less, in kick-ass retail packaging, and grew the business insanely well. We're in retail, about 5,000 retail stores, another like 22 countries around the world. Our product we're distributed in, and then pivoted the business and went full promo, like turned away, we were working with Costco and Bed Bath & Beyond and Urban Outfitters, and said, screw you guys, we don't want to work in retail anymore because it's such a competitive industry. We're doing really well in the promo industry. So we went full promo in 2013, and then grew it exponentially. We're the fastest growing supplier in the industry by ASI for like 4 or 5 years in a row, and then sold it to HPG, Hub Pen, as you were saying, but now it's just HPG. So people don't confuse it with our pen brand. In September of 18, so it's been 2 years. And then I head up marketing, innovation, partnerships, bunch of stuff at HPG. And then I run our in-house ad agency, which is here in the Bay Area. And we're HPG is now about 1,100 employees strong across 9 locations in the U.S. or in North America, and yeah, some of the best like suppliers in the industry. I think we're the 8th biggest supplier in the promo space now, largest hard goods only supplier, and now I'm 16 years deep in promo, 11 directly, 5 indirectly. So hopefully that was a good enough background.
Yeah. So Hub Paint Group,
Yeah.
HPG, I got to be honest with you, man. They started making waves when they made the acquisition of Origadio was really for me. But there's been a bunch of acquisitions just in the last year, I think, or maybe a little beyond a year. But definitely making waves. And number 8 is no joke. If you guys keep going the way that you're going, you'd be top 5 easily. Thanks for the intro. The most recent acquisition, if you guys haven't heard, HPG acquired Hub Group, or I'm sorry, not Hub, Web. And so can you sort of give us a little bit of background with that, or how acquisitions work? Because obviously acquisitions and mergers are like a big thing, in the industry. It's one of the sticking points that everybody seems to continually talk about. So from a group that's doing it, what does that look like internally? Like, how do you guys know when to acquire? Or, is it something that, when an opportunity comes, you just go at it, or are you constantly looking for acquisitions?
Yeah, we basically just Venmo random people and see if they want to bite. And that's how we end up buying companies, just via Venmo. But no, so
how I would do it.
You never accepted my bid yet, Jason. I've sent you Venmo a couple times for.
Yeah, there's a reason we're not friends on Venmo. So let me give you like the backstory on how acquisitions work. So for Origadio, when we were acquired, we had offers from multiple companies on the supplier side in our industry, and it's, as you guys know, it's a small industry. So people tried to buy larger suppliers, tried to buy smaller suppliers to gain market share and customer databases, decoration methods, IP, and whatnot. When HPG was formed, which was in 2017, with Hub Pen sold to a private equity firm called 10X, who's our PE backer still, 10X decided to build a platform within the promotional products industry and layer on acquisitions to grow their platform company, which was Hub in the promo space. So they bought Beacon, they bought Debco. I'm trying to think in order. They bought Best, who was like the Koozie Kings or whatever, down in Texas. They bought Org, they bought Handstands, they bought BCG, and now we've bought Web. So what we've done is taken a category approach and try to find the best hard goods suppliers for each of their respective categories. So Origadio, tech, lifestyle, Best, Koozies, Hub, Pens, Beacon, low cost, central distribution, commodity products, Web, personal care. So that was a big sector we were missing. Sanitizers, lip balms, mints, candies, and Web filled that void perfectly with central distribution, decorating. Web has been on a roller coaster ride, especially in the last 12 months since we started engaging with them, specifically in the sanitizer market, as you guys could imagine.
I don't even know what hand.
Yeah, either do I. I just dump vodka on my hands, but it works as well too. So these guys, they vertically manufacture hand sanitizer. Yeah, nice. Hopefully it's Web. If it isn't, it's probably made by them. So they vertically manufacture hand sanitizer from the ground up out of their Eagan, Minnesota facility. And for us, we wanted to jump onto that, not just for the sanitizer craze that's going on now, but just vertically manufacturing in an FDA facility is great for personal care. If we want to make shampoos, conditioners, I don't know, whatever it is from a personal care product in the future, we now have a facility to do that. So long-winded answer, Jeff, but it's kind of how acquisitions work and how we got to the Web one.
Sure.
I wonder too. Go ahead, Meg. Go ahead.
I was just going to talk about how you have that new distribution center where you are making all these personal care items USA made. That's what people want. They don't right now, especially with everything coming from China, they don't want their personal care items coming from China. They want them to be here. So good for you guys of getting into that market space.
Yeah, I'm definitely not using hand sanitizer coming from China. And I mean, the FDA shuts down every week now for all these sanitizers.
It's one of the reasons. Yeah, like you can't even get it if it's coming in. And sorry.
So
Jason, it sounds like based on the places that you guys, or the companies that you guys have acquired, there was a strong geographical play here too. Just looking about how they're spread out across the country. Maybe you can talk a little bit about some of that, and then actually what you guys even had to do this year, or just, kind of combining different factory spaces and whatnot, especially right now, where I think working from home and not even having full staff, stuff like that. Yeah.
So speed to market is the most important thing in promo, right? So if you look at some of the other people above us, like the top 7, for non-apparel, right? I won't name other suppliers, but there's like 3 of them. They all have pretty much like one massive distribution center, which is great, but speed is everything in our industry. So when Mike and I decided to sell to HBG, one of the biggest reasons we want to sell was multiple DCs where we could produce and ship product and deliver 2 days or less anywhere in the US. So that should be our tagline, 2 days or less anywhere in the US, right? So with HBG.
Are you 2 days in Montana?
Actually, we are from Minnesota. It depends where in Montana. I'm a big Montana guy, so it depends if you're in like Bozeman or Billings or Helena or Kalispell, yeah. But if you're in like rural Montana, like Big Fork or anywhere, there's an extra day involved.
I know, and I'm talking about that to customers. I'm like, unless you're like the Duttons. And
wait, are you in Montana?
No, I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Like
so close.
Hold on, are you throwing shade at Montana right now, Meg?
No.
It sounds like you're throwing shade at Montana.
If I'm buying a second house somewhere, it's going to be in Montana.
I love Yellowstone, greatest show on TV, so I always kind of throw that into my pitch. But go ahead.
I haven't watched Yellowstone, but so 2 days or less anywhere in the US. So we had multiple DCs, and that can decorate like-minded products. So the same product that you buy from Org out of our Salt Lake City facility is decorated the same way out of our Toronto facility and the same way out of our Massachusetts facility. So that's great for speed to delivery. And then what we did strategically was Org idea, we ran out of Southern California for 9 years. We shut down that facility during COVID. And moved our production literally over a weekend to Utah, and we're up and running for our business on Monday. We're still shut down here in California. So it was kind of crazy. And what we did was we permanently closed the California facility because look at all the lost revenue we'd still be having by not being able to produce and ship product based on the Newsom's mandate here. So by being part of HPG, we're able to do that. And COVID's been crazy. We created our food brand, Batch and Bodega, which I spearheaded and was my baby for the last year during COVID. And that's been a great breath of fresh air. But without the power of HPG, like behind us, like shit like that wouldn't have happened. So
how does that work? Because you're saying that you've got the same decoration capabilities in each of these locations. So when you're making acquisitions, like do those facilities already have that type of decoration equipment? And is that part of the requirement for you to acquire somebody, or are you actually purchasing new equipment?
That's an excellent question. Usually when I do stuff like this, people don't ask good questions, but that was a good question, Jeff. Sorry, Meg and Steven. Your questions were great too, but Jeff's was great. So Meg just hates Montana. But what we look at that a little bit, Jeff, but we also can drop in the same equipment based on our relationship with our printers. So sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't, and we'll end up buying it for that location. The big thing too for us, like with web, is ERP. They're on the same ERP for us, so there's no integration into NetSuite, which is amazing. And I know Ken Fu, our head of IT, is like saving some gray hairs from coming on his head from having to do that. So that was a big part. But usually we end up buying the same decoration equipment and dropping it in that facility if they don't already have it. But most people in our industry print on the same platforms anyways. So.
Sure.
At least on the hard goods side. I have no idea how apparel is decorated, nor do I. I wouldn't take care. But you guys could educate me, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Meg, go ahead.
I saw blank.
Blank's the way to go. But look at all your SKUs, though. Look at your SKUs. No thanks.
I know.
No thanks,
apparel. Yeah, it's good. It's all good. I do have a really cool question, but I'm going to wait because it's about one of your products. So I'm going to wait, but it's a good
Plus,
question.
you don't want to be the one that follows Jeff. He just had a really good question.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to put it in the so I got
crappy question.
All right, crappy question. Tell us a little bit about Batch and Bodega.
Okay, so No, that's a great question because it's an interesting story. So literally August of last year, I was walking around. We for years at org prior to COVID have done like crazy trend shopping trips. So we go to like Japan and London and New York and everywhere to see what's going on at retail to help us create and inspire products. So a year ago, I was walking around Chelsea Market in New York. If you guys have been to Chelsea Market, it's a great food hotspot. And I was in a store with one of the gals on our team, Marissa, and I was looking at all this amazing like craft snacks, and I think we were just like starving. I'm like, why isn't any of this stuff in the promo industry? Food in our industry sucks. Like I have received food in our industry as gifts forever, and it's just like in a cellophane bag in a white box with like no nutrition information on it. And the last thing I would just put some random communist era food in my body, right? So I usually just throw it away or like just throw it away. So I said, I think there would be something here if we could take cool food brands and bring them into the promo space. So we worked a year and developed Batch and Bodega, which we launched in August of this year, which is exactly that. We took really cool food brands that are in non-widespread distribution. So your hipster food companies, and combined them into kits and paired promo products up with it. So we have 27 craft food manufacturers from across the country, small businesses that aren't in like, they might be in a couple Whole Foods store, but nothing like Costco. We actually end up dropping a couple brands because they got too big for us. Took those products together, combined them into kits that are one piece minimum, full digitally printed, decorated and shipped within 3 days, which is unheard of for food in our space. And it's been gangbusters. We've been killing it in 2 months, and definitely it's the biggest launch HBG's ever had. And it's probably the hottest thing I've ever been a part of. And I feel like we did pretty well at org. So I'm super excited to see where it is. We've also taste tested countless food over the last couple of months, and I've picked a couple of my favorites and put it together. So we have 12 kits that just launched, perfect for Q4. And crap, I wish I had this pre-COVID, because shipping shelf-stable food to people's houses on demand quickly, we'd be rolling in the dough. So, but we waited.
Amy Smith on Facebook says Rice Krispie treats ?
Rice Krispie treats. We have a Rice Krispie treats that's like, it's probably bigger than my hand, and I can palm a basketball. And from Birds in Savannah, Georgia, it's like delicious Rice Krispie treats.
Well, see, Jason, what most people do when they're going to be a guest on the show,
send me your address.
Usually they send us like a little care package, and I didn't get that Rice Krispie treat. I'm kind of
good things come to those who wait, young Jedi. Good things come to those who wait.
Fair enough. Meg, you had something to say?
Yeah. So I don't know, in the beginning of the year, it was like right after Vegas, I think we were doing a recap, guys, and I was talking about what I thought was going to be the best promotional product of the year. And I said this, Jason, before I even knew you, before I even knew where it was. I actually didn't even think I knew where it was coming from at the time. And the reason why I thought it was the best promotional product, I thought it was the best self-promo for any salesperson or any company. It was the Nugget Dipper.
The dip trip.
The dip trip? Yeah.
Hey. How did that come about? Did you just see it at the Hong Kong show and you're like, I have to have that? Or were you literally like me? You go all day without eating and you're like, if I don't go home, I'm going to go home so hangry that you stop at McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, you grab some fries, you shove them down your throat, kind of dip in the thing, it's sliding all over the place. You try to hide the mess when you get home. Unfortunately, it's a given when you have Chick-fil-A sauce all over you. So I've been saying from day one how if COVID hadn't hit, I'm telling you, I don't know. That product would have been the product of the year. I still want one, by the way.
It still is the product of the year in my mind. I was driving down the freeway with sushi between two pieces of chopsticks, trying to dip it in soy sauce. No.
Yeah.
So
I'm kidding.
I was on Shark Tank many moons ago, and then we have always been hit up by fellow Shark Tank companies to try to jump in the promo space. So these guys were on Shark Tank, and we saw the product. We're like, this has got promo written all over it. They do well with it at retail. So we end up doing a licensing deal with them, and then launched it in January at PPAI, and it's called the Dip Trip. So it's a portable sauce condiment holder for when you're driving 90 miles an hour down the freeway. You can dip your nuggets in ranch, and it clips into your air vent on your car. And I agree with you, Meg. Like if COVID didn't happen and people actually went places, it would be game over. But COVID happened.
I know.
You guys been to a Chick-fil-A recently?
This morning.
No. There's not even one by me.
Like a week or two ago. Why?
The line always wraps around the building like 6 times.
So quick.
Even now, like it's crazy to me.
Hey, I have a testimonial about that. Actually, I know we don't like doing like individual product stuff, but one of our sales girls follows this. She's like a social influencer on Instagram, and Chick-fil-A in different locations were doing like the first. They were selling their sauces in like large containers, and the first 100 people that purchased a large sauce container would get a dip trip. And she actually was one of those people that was there like 30 minutes before they opened. It's dark outside, and she's like doing a whole story with this thing. She gets a dip trip, and then so our sales girl reaches out to her and is like, hey, like, we carry those. And she's like, all right. So she starts to sell them through her social influencer
Nice.
space. And within 6 hours, the girl had pre-sold 780 of these dip trips. And so she kept doubling her order. So we ended up getting a big order just because of the dip trip craze.
That's awesome.
It's
done really well. I know we did an order for Whataburger.
Shout out to Jenner.
And Heinz, we've done a couple big ones for. So it's out there. I just have no idea where it's going. So that's awesome to hear the Chick-fil-A scenario. It's made for Chick-fil-A.
If you did an order for Whataburger, I bet you Bill Petrie has a dip trip.
I'm sure he does. But I also I don't like Whataburger. So sorry, Bill, if you're listening. Not a Whataburger fan.
Fired.
He knows this. I was
saying, you guys have that convo on your podcast.
We talked about
if you're Cali, you're an In-N-Out guy, right?
I am. I mean, In-N-Out's good. I'm not a big fast food guy, but if I'm going fast food, I'm going In-N-Out because it's actually I don't know how Whataburger's production process works, but you can watch it be made. Can you at Whataburger?
I have no idea.
Exactly. If
you're now more of a hipster junk food type of guy.
Yeah, I'm a shelf stable snack guy.
Well, listen, since we talked Chick-fil-A, we'll just say Chick-fil-A is literally the only fast food. There's nothing else out there.
Chick-fil-A is delicious. Yes, there's just no Chick-fil-A's by me.
Their fries aren't that great though. They're always soggy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Meg, we're not friends anymore.
I literally get the salad when I go to Chick-fil-A because it's bang.
Their salad's good.
Jason, Brendan Petrich wants to chime in. He thinks he's got a good question for you. I have no idea what this pertains to, but I'm going to read it anyways. When is Sizzling with Sharon airing again? # bring her back.
So Sharon Schiffelhoover is in sales at HPG. She did an episode called Sizzling with Sharon where she cooked food in her kitchen and with Beacon products and made all these traditionally Midwest dishes, like a hot pot or a hot bake, or I can't remember what it is. But it did really well. So just for you, Brandon, maybe she'll do a private one-on-one cooking lesson with you. So I'll see if I can set that up for you, but it will be coming back soon. She just needs new recipes to formulate.
I figured you'd be a good person to ask this as a kind of a different direction question. You do a lot of traveling, or used to do a lot of traveling. You mentioned you go overseas several times a year. Can you allude to some of the impact on just this year? I mean, have you been grounded since March?
Yeah, so I'm people know me. I'm a frequent. I'm about 200,000 miles a year on United, and I haven't been on a plane. I was in Maui March 5th till St. Patty's Day. The last flight I was on was March 17th, and it's crazy. I have no desire to go on a plane anytime soon. Granted, I have a 3-month-old and a 2-year-old. So it's crazy how much COVID has impacted the travel industry. And for me, this is the longest I've been home with my 15 years, right? And it's weird, but I think it's changed the way that the travel industry is affected. I have a lot of family in the travel industry, and the sectors, it's probably 5 years till it comes back to pre-COVID levels in my mind. For our industry, what I think you're going to see in January is, you mentioned earlier, the Hong Kong China shows. I was 3 or 4 times a year in China. We'd go to shows like Origadio and HBG. Well, Origadio, we never developed products by just picking stuff out from the China shows, which the majority of our industry does. I think in January at PPI and ASI, or ASI is not happening, but PPI is for now. I saw your bell and tone one. I don't think it should personally in my mind, but sorry, Paul. I think you'll see a lot less product be launched in our industry this year because people weren't able to go to the Canton Fair and Hong Kong Fair. And that was the main sourcing method. So I think our industry, it's going to take longer to come back because there's not going to be an influx of new product. For us at Org, just like some vision for next year, we're not actually launching a lot of product intentionally because we think the stuff we launched this year didn't get a fair shot. So we want to give it a secondary sales cycle and see how it performs. But travel's impacted our industry like crazy. I think trade shows are kind of a thing of the past. The virtual trade show concept you talked about, promo show, I think that's a great way things should be done in the future. And I mean, look at all the businesses, especially here in San Francisco, that are foregoing their office space, right? They don't need to have sales guys on the road. Zoom is now a term, right? Like Kleenex, like let's Zoom. And I think this is the way that social interaction and travel and the whole industry is going to be changed for the future. So for me, it's weird being home because I like have groceries and have my clothes in a closet, but it's awesome because I didn't need to travel as much before.
In a lot of industries, I think I would agree with you that, the way the trade show is sort of past tense, but I think with our industry being such a touchy-feely type of tactile industry, how can it possibly be the way of the future? I mean, I think there's too much personal interaction with the actual product itself for trade shows to just go away. I definitely think trade shows are overdone.
Yeah.
But you actually see this industry going full virtual at some point?
No, like I think this industry should be, I was in the electronics industry. It should be like the electronics industry. CES, one massive show. That's it. You don't need little road shows. You don't need ASI, but you don't need like 4 ASI shows. There should be like one big PPAI show. It shouldn't be in January in my mind. It should be in the summertime because for suppliers on our side, as you guys know, it's so hard with Q4 and then you rush into launching products and it's never done properly. They should move it to summertime or late spring, and maybe the ASI one in the fall, and that's it. 2 big shows with maybe Jeff, like MLRs will still be on the road because I agree with you. It's such a touchy-feely industry. You need to feel, the quality of apparel. You need to taste snacks, right? You need to smell.
You need to hear how great that speaker sounds.
You need to like put hats on your head and smell things.
You need to feel the energy,
Yeah.
You need to eat that Rice Krispie treat. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, right? But we can also ship them to people's houses. But anyways.
I was going to ask, I wonder if the byproduct of this is going to be just crazy samples, like just crazy.
I think it is.
My sample budget, I haven't been like smacked yet, but like I'm just, they're saving money on my like gas bill, not my gas bill.
Yeah, just move the funds.
Watch everyone's P&L on the sample line and the freight line travel like this, right? So I don't know, Jeff. Like I bet you a couple big industry shows, that's all you really need. I think you'll see a lot of the small stuff fade away.
Yeah. I mean, that's the approach we've taken anyways with the ASI shows. We typically only do 1 or 2 of them and we'll sort of flip-flop a couple times, here and there. Like
and we only do it because like we feel an obligation to do it because AS has a good partner for us, but like honestly, like that Orlando show, it's terrible.
It used to not be. It used to be one of my
favorites. It used to be great, but 2 big shows competing with each other in each month. I think ASI, if one of them moved to a different season, that'd be a great show.
I think you're right on that. I think the problem is they want they want to be the first on either coast to have something for both people. And I'm in New Jersey. I have like the Mid-Atlantic for the most part, South, whatever. I still get a very big portion of people that go to Vegas over Orlando. It's really that like Southeast
and for us crowd too. It's so hard because we would do PSI in Dusseldorf, which is the same week, and CS. So it's like this trade show trifecta happening that week, and like ASI is always the one like, let's just like do the booth that we can set up in 20 minutes at ASI and take down in 5, right? Because we want to focus on CS and these other shows. So with so much noise leaving the ecosystem now, if PPI does happen in January, it's gonna be where everyone's focus is. But I saw on like Facebook, the Facebook promotional products group, like everyone's like, "Are you going to Vegas?" And there's like 800 comments, and the majority, I would say, based on skimming, 60 to 65% are no's, maybe.
Yeah, And I think it's because it's so fluid right now. And
Yeah.
in our company, everyone's kind of waiting to the last minute to figure out what they want to do. Is it going to be safe?
Yeah.
And that it depends on who you ask. Is it going to
Yeah.
be safe? B, is Nevada going to be shut down? Is Las Vegas going to be shut down? And if A, it is safe and all those three things are open, fine, then they have the show. But at that point, the damage is already done. The damage has been done all 2020. A, can the distributors afford to come? B, do the suppliers want to spend that money to have nobody come see their stuff? They spend a lot of money. Like
Oh, we're in $250,000. Yeah.
Oh yeah, easy. So it's like, do we want? It's all about ROI. So if we can't get that ROI, and that's unfortunate because I want to go. I love the trade shows. I mean, there's different personalities. Like for me, being an extrovert and being the person that I am, and like I love to hug people. Like it's so hard for me. I haven't left my office. I mean, I'm like showing you this, but it's all.
It's such a pretty office, by the way, Meg.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love those ferns.
Did you clean up?
So like, you know, and but then come April, I haven't been home maybe a week. So it's like, you know, and then this year was a little different, obviously. But we're seeing all these little trade shows pop up, outdoor ones, virtual ones. And then we're trying to do, I mean, I'm personally trying to do as many as I can since I'm not going out and see customers, but then we're doing all this Zoom stuff and we're making it fun. And then you have all the backlash. Is Zoom fatigue real? Well, yeah, everything's real. We can sit in front of our effing computers for 12 hours a day for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
What we do in excess is going to be fatigue, but this is what we have.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the era of the Jetsons. Like this is
imagine if this didn't happen. We'd be like faxing and mailing stuff to people. Like
I mentioned that a lot. Like if this would happen 10 years ago, this would have been just terrible.
It'd be awesome because I'd just be like sleeping on the couch. But like, yeah.
So, well, while we're talking about trade shows, you guys heard of that awesome holiday trade show that's coming up, right? It's virtual, so you don't have to worry about traveling or jumping on that plane to do your 200,000 miles. You know, I think it's promoshow.com, right? Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah.
.edu or .com?
No, just .com.
Okay.
Promoshow.com. That's awesome. So listen, Promo Show is hosting their 4th themed trade show, which will be held on September 29th, 11 to 3 Eastern time. It's that time of the year, like I said, where you just want to say thank you for sticking it out with us for 2020. Hey, we got through it together. We're resilient. We're an awesome industry. We'll make it through. But listen, if you're looking for thank you gifts and things like that, this is definitely the place to look for that stuff. It's a holiday gift theme show. Promo Show is a great way for distributors to meet face-to-face and camera-to-camera with suppliers to talk about current projects, to get those ideas on how to sell in this current climate. So distributors, please go to promoshow.com and click on that holiday show banner at the top. And then suppliers, if you're interested in a booth for that show, email sales@promocorner.com if you're interested in a booth. Promoshow.com, the entire industry virtually. Do you guys have any closing questions for Jason?
Oh, just congrats on all the successes and the expansion of HPG, and excited to see how the new releases and the new partnership with Web goes. I think that's awesome for you all.
Thanks. Bill just texted me and said Whataburger is better than In-N-Out and always will be. You're Texas, like your ketchup's great. That's about it. But no, thanks for having me. Meg, thanks for hating Montana. Jeff, thanks for.
No, and honestly, I think that the Web acquisition is gonna be great. I think Dan is great. I think the people, they're like a family there, and he sticks up for his people and I love that. I love that he has his people's back. And I just want to make one little comment. Ms. Zasman from Zoom Catalog said the suite of 2020 HPG catalogs are amazing. Some of the best we've seen. So
thanks for the shameless plug. Yeah, like other people just like throw products in front of you. It's online, by the way. You don't have to get mailed one, FYI. But no, we spend a lot of money on photography, all in-house, and like Adele and Jeff who do our photography, they do a phenomenal job. Like our pictures are just sexy as hell.
Oh, I'm getting all.
Look at that Rice Krispie treat picture. Just when you see the marshmallow and butter dripping from it, you're gonna be like, Jason was right.
I'm so hungry.
No, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Jason, so good to have you. I wish you all the best of luck. things have gone really well. I don't think my wishes of luck is going to be of any value to you. You guys are doing it all on your own completely. But man, I really appreciate you taking the time, waking up early, from West Coast to be on the show. But yeah, man, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, and hopefully we'll share our dinner in Vegas again at some point if there's a trade show ever in the future.
If there's ever a trade show again.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
it. Take care.
All right, see ya.
Bye-bye.
All right, we're off.
Oh, okay.